Welcome back to our channel, where we share updates and untold stories about Catherine, Princess of Wales, and her royal family. Today, we bring you some news. King Charles's significant alteration to the monarchy results in Princess Beatrice's newborn forfeiting royal status. The royal family will soon welcome a new member, resulting in alterations to titles. After enduring several challenges and losses, Princess Beatrice is now expecting a child. Discoveries at Buckingham Palace have astonished both royalty and the people, attracting global attention to this development. Princess Beatrice will confer a non-British royal title on her offspring. The royal offspring, anticipated in early spring 2025, will possess a foreign heritage. British royal titles have long-standing limitations, rendering Princess Beatrice's children ineligible. Her spouse, Edoardo Mozzi, will grant the child an Italian noble title. The contemporary royal family's amalgamation of British and Italian traditions has ignited debate on cultural heritage and innovative royal practices. The 1917 British royal etiquette designates the titles of prince or princess for the children and male line grandchildren of a monarch. This regulation pertains to the offspring of female royals who wed outside the royal lineage. As great-nieces and great-nephews of King Charles, Princess Beatrice's offspring are ineligible for a British royal title. Contrasting Princess Beatrice's circumstances with those of her ancestors underscores the significance of this idea. In 2023, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's offspring, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, acquired royal titles owing to their direct lineage from King Charles, whereas Beatrice's children remain one generation further. Due to their female royal ancestry, they are ineligible for royal titles. Beatrice's offspring do not possess British titles due to her marriage to Edoardo Mozzi, who lacks such titles. Edoardo's Italian aristocratic lineage does not influence the British title system, which operates under distinct regulations, unlike royal males who marry into the family. Princess Beatrice, like other members of the royal family, has no British royal titles, whether by choice or necessity. Princess Eugenie, like her sister, has also declined to categorize her children. Just and Ernest, Eugenie's boys, are ineligible for British titles due to their status as great-grandchildren of Queen Elizabeth. This illustrates a change in the royal family's ideals as Princess Beatrice and Diana navigate their public and private lives. This choice aligns with royal family tendencies as younger generations want autonomy while maintaining their connections to the monarchy. The offspring of Beatrice and Edoardo will be associated with the British monarchy but will not possess royal titles. This autonomy is necessary for a family under public scrutiny to maintain a degree of privacy. The British royal family is not unique in restricting royal titles to male line descendants. Numerous European aristocracies and kings transmit titles via the male lineage, excluding female predecessors and their progeny from hereditary positions. The British monarchy prioritizes tradition above innovation, as seen by this conservative perspective. While some may consider this antiquated, it is essential to differentiate direct heirs from collateral relatives within the royal lineage. While Princess Beatrice's offspring are ineligible for a British royal title, Edoardo Mozzi's Italian lineage presents a favorable alternative. Edoardo, the son of Count Alessandro Mozzi, presents a dilemma. The child's title will derive from Edoardo's Italian aristocracy rather than the British crown. Despite the 1948 abolishment of formal noble rank, the male lineage often transmits Italian titles like Count or Nobildonna, which signify noble lady. The male heir of the Mozzi lineage, Edoardo, holds the title of Count, and his progeny inherit it. We will designate a boy or girl as Count or noble lady. This title represents the child's cultural and historical connections to Italian royalty and the Mozzi lineage. A noble title connects Edoardo's family with the Mozzi lineage, an 18th century mansion located in Castelnuovo, northern Italy. This historic family house has 13 bedrooms and expansive grounds, signifying their noble lineage. Edoardo will integrate the property into the family's legacy and future. Princess Beatrice's children may engage with their Italian heritage and experience aristocratic life outside the British monarchy. The historical significance and architectural design of the villa enhance the titles of Edoardo and his successors. This illustrates the ongoing effect of European nobility on familial legacy in contemporary society, promoting cross-national cultural connections. The new member, hailing from British and Italian nobility, may acquire knowledge of European history and aristocratic customs. Despite the legal abolition of Italian aristocratic titles, lineages like the Mapelli Mozzis continue to uphold them culturally. Titles such as Count and Contessa signify respect and lineage for noblewomen in Italy. Princess Beatrice's offspring possess an Italian courtesy title, creating ambiguity over their connection with both the British monarchy and a historical Italian nobility. These esteemed lineages signify contemporary European royal families that often intermarry across national boundaries and amalgamate diverse cultural legacies. The royal and noble families of Europe often adhere to their aristocratic lineage while executing their royal responsibilities. Princess Beatrice's unique combination of British and Italian titles illustrates the adaptability of European aristocracy to evolving legal recognition. Princess Beatrice's offspring will get an Italian title rather than a British one, captivating royal enthusiasts and igniting discourse on social media. The unprecedented alliance between the British monarchy and Italian nobility has attracted significant notice. This title may benefit the royal family, yet concerns may arise over its implications for the British monarchy and the child's position within it. Royal enthusiasts like this unique name since it evokes the increasing variety of European aristocracy. The British royal family has adjusted to international connections and familial configurations. Princess Beatrice's children, born in Italy, represent a unique royal amalgamation. This cross-cultural aspect attracts admirers who appreciate the expanding worldwide connections among royal families, a trend also seen in other European monarchies that engage in marriages transcending national and cultural confines. Beatrice's offspring's preference for an Italian title rather than a British one underscores royal lineage. The British royal family adheres to stringent titles and succession protocols. Nonetheless, monarchy scholars assert that conventional traditions are progressively evolving to accommodate modern circumstances, including the personal and familial connections of royals overseas. The celebration of Edoardo's Italian ancestry by Princess Beatrice and Edoardo illustrates how royal traditions may embrace the many origins of royal consorts. This indicates a pattern across royal families. Princess Anne's offspring, devoid of British titles, exemplify the monarchy's sporadic changes in titles and public duties. Princess Beatrice's familial modifications allow her offspring to preserve a link to the monarchy while enjoying more autonomy devoid of royal titles. Noble and royal families throughout Europe are integrating cultural variety into their lineages, therefore enhancing their historical importance. Princess Beatrice's union with Edoardo Mapelli Mozzi is a contemporary cross-cultural marriage that integrates aristocratic customs, titles, and ambitions. Contemporary European aristocracy esteems titles and lineage, although it adapts them to familial context. Beatrice's royal rank piques the public's interest in her lineage. Her child will inherit not only a distinguished lineage, but also British royal responsibilities thanks to her Italian title. This position offers autonomy. The offspring of Edoardo and Beatrice may have less media scrutiny and public responsibilities compared to their British royal predecessors, enabling them to lead a privileged existence. Princess Beatrice's second offspring will alter the British royal succession. The infant in 11th position will supplant family members of inferior status. The line of succession changes with each addition to the royal family. Thus, Beatrice's child will influence her sister Princess Eugenie and her nephews August and Ernest Brooksbank, who will occupy the 12th, 13th, and 14th positions, respectively. This succession alteration underscores the importance of the family's extended cousins to the royal lineage, despite their distant responsibilities from the monarch. Although Beatrice's offspring are unlikely to achieve royal rank, their unique succession position ensures their continued association with the monarchy. Beatrice's progeny have British royal lineage, yet they grow up in an Italian aristocratic environment. This kid, the 14th great-grandchild of Queen Elizabeth, will be the second born after her death, after Ernest Brooksbank in 2023. This enduring heritage combines tradition with technology to link the extended family to the British royal family. Princess Beatrice and Edoardo Mapelli Mozzi emphasize familial and professional commitments while participating in public events. Beatrice works as the Vice President of Partnerships and Strategy at a software firm, while Eduardo, a prosperous real estate developer, manages bond property. Their occupations enable them to harmonize familial and public life without royal obligations. The family allocates its time between St. James Palace in London and their residence in the Cotswolds. Beatrice and Eduardo's emphasis on seclusion at charity events and royal obligations exemplifies a contemporary royal family lifestyle. Their choice to bestow Italian noble titles onto their offspring, rather than British royal titles, affords them a link to monarchy devoid of associated responsibilities. Princess Beatrice and Eduardo's offspring, embodying both British royalty and Italian aristocracy, illustrate the unforeseen amalgamation of titles and cultural legacies. Their distinctive amalgamation of British and Italian cultures demonstrates a growing trend of ethnic influences on European nobles. These children embody a fusion of European nobility that honors and adapts to contemporary family structures, integrating British and Italian conventions. Beatrice and Eduardo could rear their offspring in two noble realms owing to their foreign lineage. As Italy has ceased to acknowledge noble titles or political roles, Italian noble customs are more discreet compared to British royal traditions, which are characterized by public duty, official obligations, and media attention. The advantages and legacies of both cultures may provide Beatrice's children a more adaptable upbringing than previous royal successors, constrained by cultural traditions. European royal families often intermarry, resulting in lineages that include much cultural and national heritage. The Danish and Greek royal families have intermarried with many European aristocratic and royal houses, enhancing their historical and cultural heritage. These couples illustrate how contemporary European monarchies integrate national traditions with a common historical narrative. The Swedish royal family, including Crown Princess Victoria's non-aristocratic spouse, Prince Daniel, has evolved by integrating new viewpoints and traditions. This approach enhances the institution's global attractiveness while honoring tradition. Beatrice's choice to adopt Eduardo's Italian title for her children recognizes the rich cultural heritage of the royal realm. The influence of diverse origins on the lives and identities of royal children captivates the audience. Beatrice's offspring, with both British and Italian titles, contribute to the expanding lineage of multicultural royalty. Numerous royal enthusiasts see this as a shift toward a more inclusive monarchy, with titles and ceremonies mirroring contemporary familial dynamics. Beatrice's family may preserve their British royal and Italian aristocratic connections by obtaining an Italian title for Eduardo. Some see this amalgamation of traditions as beneficial, but others view it as a threat to the established parameters of the British monarchy. The offspring of Princess Beatrice and Eduardo may possess a distinctive British-Italian identity. Princess Beatrice's association with Eduardo's family reflects a wider trend in European aristocracy, where titles maintain their importance while adapting to modern realities. The rigid structures and customs of European nobility are yielding to modern principles such as privacy, personal freedom, and global citizenship. Italian aristocratic titles are mostly symbolic, hence families such as the Mozzis retain them as a sign of familial continuity. This enables families to commemorate their heritage without the public service obligations characteristic of the British monarchy. Other European royal and aristocratic lineages exhibit such transformations. The children of King Willem-Alexander suggest that the Dutch royal family bestows fewer titles to its younger members. Queen Margrethe, Denmark has amended her grandchildren's titles to facilitate both royal responsibilities and private professions. Beatrice and Eduardo acquired an Italian title to enhance their children's ancestry while avoiding the obligations of British nobility. Culturally, titles such as Count or Nobile Donna signify familial heritage rather than authority. This comprehension enables families to confer titles that prioritize personal identity, familial heritage, and cultural pride above civic responsibility. Beatrice's descendants will certainly inherit the Mozzi lineage's long-standing traditions, territories, and ancestry via the Italian title. Utilizing titles as cultural identities rather than emblems of power makes monarchy more accessible and diminishes hierarchy, harmonizing with contemporary ideas of tradition and individual liberty. A multitude of individuals see this tendency favorably, asserting that titles may respect familial legacy without imposing constraints, a notion that Beatrice and Edoardo seem to endorse for their offspring. The family's Italian title reinforces their connections to British and Italian traditions while presenting a contemporary, adaptable perspective on noble identity that resonates with royal enthusiasts globally. The Mapelli-Mozzi family, to which Edoardo belongs, has a rich heritage in Lombardy. His hereditary title connects Edoardo and his progeny to Italian nobility. The Mapelli-Mozzis governed northern Italy, particularly Milan, where their family residence, Villa Mapelli-Mozzi, is located. The exquisite architecture and expansive grounds of this 18th century house exemplify Italian nobility and the family's heritage. British and Italian nobility, along with Villa Mapelli-Mozzi, firmly establish Edoardo's progeny. Villa Mapelli-Mozzi at Castelnuovo near Milan is an integral component of the family's aristocratic heritage. Its historical significance and architectural grandeur make it a symbol of Italian culture, raising Edoardo to the rank of count. The mansion serves as the residence of Edoardo and his descendants, embodying their family values. These estates served as family residences and centers of authority, where the Italian nobility executed social and cultural responsibilities. Edoardo, the potential heir to the estate, must guarantee that his offspring value its history and beauty. The family resides in Villa Mapelli-Mozzi, with frescoed ceilings, exquisite moldings, and expansive gardens. The deep-rootedness of Edoardo's progeny in geography and history enhances the cultural significance of their Italian aristocratic title. The Italian government no longer recognizes titles, but certain families, such as the Mapelli-Mozzis, retain them as symbols of ancestry and pride. Italy abolished noble titles in 1948, but families and aristocratic factions continue to preserve them to uphold cultural continuity. The Mapelli-Mozzi family may honor their lineage without the political influence often linked to nobility, since these titles have evolved into mere symbols. European families maintain cultural importance via estates and historical sites, therefore, they preserve their titles. The family's dedication to Villa Mapelli-Mozzi and their historical title demonstrates their appreciation for Italy's aristocratic heritage, despite its evolving significance in contemporary society. Edoardo and Beatrice's choice of title demonstrates their commitment to aristocratic traditions, instilling historical significance in their children while meeting modern demands. The Mapelli-Mozzi title and estate represent Italian aristocratic lineage via Edoardo and his progeny. European aristocracy transmits titles and estates to uphold familial lineage, customs, and cultural heritage. Edoardo's family asserts that they will designate his offspring with Princess Beatrice as counts or noble dames, thereby solidifying their status within Italian royalty. The Villa Mapelli-Mozzi donation reinforces this connection. Villas represent generations of legacy and can serve as cultural and architectural icons. Edoardo and his children, as future stewards of this land, will safeguard the villa's history and culture. The offspring of Edoardo and Beatrice are Italian, in contrast to their British royal relatives, who are mostly British. The titles and estates of European aristocracy enable aristocratic families to modernize while preserving their traditions. This indicates that Edoardo's progeny will get the titles of Count or Nobile Donna without the ceremonial obligations often linked to aristocratic titles. Following the abolition of aristocratic titles in Italy after World War II, families have seen these titles as cultural rather than authoritative, enabling them to retain them as a source of personal and family pride. Contemporary European aristocratic families hold this perspective, prioritizing cultural identity over social or political influence. This enables Beatrice and Edoardo's children to explore their Italian heritage and familial history without royal constraints. Aristocratic circles revere legacy, reconciling ancient responsibilities with modern familial structures without the rigid historical constraints of noble titles. The imminent birth of Princess Beatrice and Edoardo Mapelli-Mozzi's child merges British and Italian royal lineage, exemplifying contemporary European royalty. Early 2025 will see the kid receive the Italian courtesy title of Count or Nobile Donna instead of a British royal title. This divergence between British and Italian aristocracies illustrates how royal family traditions have evolved alongside contemporary familial arrangements while preserving cultural heritage. Villa Mapelli, Mozzi, the ancestral residence of the Mapelli-Mozzi family, links Princess Beatrice's children to their Italian lineage. They will perpetuate their family's tradition by amalgamating Italian nobility with contemporary liberties as successors to the property. The upkeep of Villa Mapelli-Mozzi exemplifies the preservation of aristocratic legacy in modern times, highlighting the significance of historical estates in familial identity and cultural continuity. The family of Beatrice and Eduardo exemplifies the resilience and enduring nature of established aristocratic traditions at a time of considerable convergence among European nobility across national boundaries. This new chapter in their familial narrative underscores a significant transformation within European royal circles, accentuating ancestry, history, and cultural legacy while enabling families to really articulate their lives and identities.
Thank you for watching the video.
Please let us know your thoughts, and goodbye for the time being.